Hi, my name is Vera Anselmo, and welcome to Anselmo Academy of Music and the Arts, our live broadcast on YouTube from the series called Music is Life. We actually have created this series back in September 2020 by inviting our honorary board directors to join our series. Our honorary board consists of well-known performing artists, educators, composers, and authors, and they are, openly share their stories, their videos, the articles, publications throughout this difficult school year. So we wanted to extend our gratitude and many thanks to our honorary board directors for their support and for creating such a fantastic program during this difficult year. Today, in our spotlight, we have three outstanding artists. We have Virginie Gout-Zschabitz, a French harpist holding a position of a solo harpist at Deutsche Oper Berlin. Douglas Townsend, American composer, a former student of Aaron Copland, who had passed away in 2012, but his music uh, continues to live as his surviving wife, Jean, who is serving on our honorary board, carries on his legacy. And jazz pianist, composer, and educator, Tapas Zimbabwe, who is a keyboardist from Saturday Night Live band, which is a hit show in New York. And this is our final episode from the series we created that featuring honorary board directors. But stay tuned as we are organizing a new series of broadcast to premiere in late June, and it will be called Young Talents of New York. So stay tuned as we provide you with more information about that. And I am hosting this event all solo, not sharing the stage with anyone else today, but presenting the stories, photographs, and videos of the three artists that I just mentioned. Um, Also having a microphone all to myself, actually, which might be not such a good idea, but I'll try to behave. A few words about Anselmo Academy of Music and the Arts. We are celebrating our 20th year anniversary this school year, and actually in just a few days on June 5th is our 20th birthday. And we are proud and honored to have served thousands of students in our outreach programs, which are group classes at local schools, community centers, senior centers, and organizations that serve students with learning disabilities. We have, for the most part of the history of the Academy, we have done piano and general music, but as of recently, we have added additional curriculum. So in addition to piano, we now have violin, guitar, voice, musical theater and acting, drums, saxophone, ukulele, classes and music theory, Disney class, early childhood educational classes, and improvisation class. And I also like to mention that we just finished our spring recitals where so many students participated on Zoom during the month of May from Manhattan, Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens, New Jersey, Rockland, and Westchester areas. And we wanted to extend our congratulations to all the students and deep gratitude to our staff, teachers, and parents, families of the students who really showcase a great deal of resilience and provided Anselmo Academy with support that we so much needed during the pandemic. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and post comments and questions if you like our program. We use this channel not only to post this type of broadcast, but also free lessons, educational tips, demos of different lessons and classes that we have, different promotions. So that's a good channel for you to follow us on social media. And as of recently, we have also added TikTok. So please go on TikTok and look for Anselma Academy. Let's see, what else can I tell you? I guess nothing else. We proceed with our featured artist, Virginie Gout-Zschabitz. Can we please pull up Virginie's two professional pictures? Beautiful, thank you so much. Virginie Gout-Zschabitz is a French harpist who holds the position of a solo harpist at the Deutsche Oper Berlin. Born and raised in France, Virginie started learning solfege and music theory at the age of 7. She then continued general music studies, rhythm, solfege, ear training through exposure to different percussion instruments. She had also started learning ballet at the age of 6 through age 12. Her father played guitar and was often listening to classical music at home. That was a family tradition where he would cook his specialty meals on weekends and listen to classical music on the radio. One day, there was Mozart's flute and harp concerto being played on the radio, and Virginie was taken by the sound of the harp and wanted to learn more. She started learning harp at age 8 in Bordeaux, France, with Colette Esposito, who was her first harp teacher. Can we please find a picture we have of Virginie's music school attendance card? Whenever you have it, that would be great. It's an attendance card. Yes, perfect. It's maybe a little blurry, but that was from Virginie's first music school where she started studying music. Then family moved to Versailles, where she continued harp studies with Annie Chalon, who is a well-known harpist and a composer for harp repertoire. Can we please show? Yes. This is Annie Chalon. And soon after, family had to move again to Marseille, where she met her next harp teacher, Michel Wallam. And we have, no, that's a different teacher. I think that's Michel Wallam is in a group picture where Virginie is sitting. She's sitting at the harp with a group of students. And her teacher is on the left-hand side standing. Do we have that picture? Let's move on. Maybe we'll find it later. As a young teen, Virginie felt a deeper connection with her teacher in Versailles. So she moved back to continue studies with Annie Chalon. Further, she moved to Nantes, where she met Isabelle Perrin. Now we can show Isabelle Perrin. That's a woman with dark curly hair. Yes, perfect. And according to Virginie, this teacher played a fundamental role in her development as a musician, as a harpist, and she further inspired Virginie to take harp seriously and come to New York to try at the Juilliard School auditions. After successful admission to the Juilliard School, Virginie's next teacher was Nancy Allen. And we have that picture with Nancy Allen standing next to, yes. She was her next grade teacher, where Virginie felt mature responsibility for being serious about the harp. After graduating the Juilliard School with a Bachelor of Music in Harp Performance, Virginie took her first job in a musical, which is 42nd Street, where they had traveled in Germany for performances. 42nd Street was a hit musical in the 80s, where it won a Tony Award and became a long running hit. Before we move on, we also have a picture of Virginie with Mstislav Rostropovich, where she is fixing his tie, and that was during a tour of the Juilliard Orchestra. Do we have that picture? Uh-huh, yes, great, fantastic. I think that's a neat picture. Soon after traveling in Germany, Virginie had learned about an opening for an opera house position in Berlin for a solo harpist. Virginie took lessons with her classmate from Juilliard, Marie-Pierre Langamet, and successfully got a job at Deutsche Oper Berlin, where she has been serving as a solo harpist since 1995. Virginie is constantly challenged with a variety of repertoire and an intense schedule of playing sometimes five different operas in one week. She also performs chamber music and participates in the internship program where she has students ages 18 through 26. Um, did we find any more pictures? Or maybe some pictures we didn't show yet of Virginie in her youth at the harp. Uh-huh. That was the picture with her teacher who is standing at the left hand side. Any other pictures we have? Maybe not. Okay, we're going to proceed with our first featured video that Virginia shared with us, which is an excerpt from Rossini's opera, The Journey to Rhymes. This is his last opera that's written in Italian. His later works were all in French, and it was commissioned to celebrate the coronation of French King Charles X in 1825. It has been acclaimed as one of Rossini's best works. And a few interesting details about Rossini I wanted to share with maybe some of you who don't know his story. At age 23, Rossini composed his famous comic opera called The Barber of Seville, which I'm sure many of you have heard of, and he wrote it in less than 3 weeks. He claims it was only 12 days, according to some sources. He was an opera writing machine. And between 1812 and 1822, Rossini wrote 30 operas, the majority of his lifetime output. And one interesting fact, according to some sources, Rossini was unbelievably lazy. He liked to compose while lying in bed. I like to lie in bed, but I don't compose. Does it count? I don't know. Um, Despite this, he completed an average of 4 operas a year during his formative composing years, some in as little as 2 weeks. And so the excerpt what we have is the scene where everyone is arriving at the hotel for the coronation, but the voice of Roman poetess Carina makes everyone pause. And it's lyric coloratura soprano, Elena Salagova, voice, and then Virginie is accompanying her on the beautiful harp. Take a listen. Beautiful. And our next musical excerpt is from Benjamin Britten, which is essentially a Christmas cantata written in 1942. It's a choral composition written for Christmas, for chorus, solo, vocals, and harp. And the number that we have is called Balulalu, which is a lullaby for the baby Jesus. One interesting fact I found about this cantata is that the text is written in what it's called Middle English. It's a dialect that was spoken in England, maybe also Wales, between 18 and 15 centuries. Take a look. Beautiful. And to finish our presentation for Virginie Gout, we have her quote, and I'm reading her words. We live in an increasingly global world. It is important for young students to have a broad understanding of the world and its cultures. Art classes expose students to art from all over the world. This exposure helps them understand our shared humanity. Learning to play pieces of music can be a challenging but achievable goal. Students who master even the smallest goal in music will be able to feel proud of their achievement. Beautiful. Thank you so much, Virginia. I hope you're watching. Hello from New York. And we're going to take a quick musical break. And stay tuned as we will feature Douglas Townsend. Welcome back. I would like to first introduce Jean Townsend, who is Douglas's surviving wife. She serves on our honorary board, and she is a true ambassador for music education and has been continuing his legacy of his life, his work, and is an extremely dedicated person. She is a non-musician, so I would like to briefly share with her bio, her credentials. Jean Townsend was born and raised in Washington, D.C. She is the daughter of a federal government official. She has an MA in English language and literature from University of Michigan, Ann Arbor, and a JD, which is Juris Doctor, legal degree cum laude from New York Law School in Manhattan. Her professional life has been spent in the fields of adult basic education and law. Since 2006, she has been involved in the world of classical music, doing promotion and public relations for American composers. Her other interests are the performing and visual arts, natural history, and American history. And what I would like to do is now show a picture of Jean and Douglas together. Can we pull that up? Yes, beautiful, so that everybody can see Jean. And we have a wonderful excerpt of Jean speaking in her husband's memory at the memorial service eulogy that she introduces him much better than I would. So take a look.
Hi, everybody. Wow, it's a full house. Who knew so many people would come out on such a cold day to hear 5 widows extolling the virtues of their beloved husbands? So as you've all learned, my name is Jean Townsend, and I'm the widow of American composer and native Manhattanite Douglas Townsend. Now, all of you women in the audience know that the fact that I am Douglas's last wife is not the end of the conversation, but just the beginning. Now, what you were really wondering is, but are you the first wife of Douglas Townsend? And I have to answer to that, I have to answer, no, I'm not the first wife, and I'm also not the second wife. So it turns out that I am the third and final wife of Douglas Townsend. Now, a lot of my women friends that I see around here today eventually get around to asking me, what is it like to be the third wife of someone? And I always say, it's good. It's very good to be the third wife, because by the time a man gets to the point where he has had 3 wives, he knows a lot about wives. So you can skip marriage 101 and move your base camp to more elevated terrain. And in that rarefied air, you can tell each other bedtime stories about your other spouses.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Jean. And now, do we have a picture of Douglas? Some of his, in his later years, maybe he is better recognized by many as an established American composer. As I read his bio credentials, can we pull one of his pictures out? Wonderful. American composer Douglas Townsend, born in 1921, passed away in 2012. He was a composer, musicologist, a native New Yorker who was actively composing, teaching, coaching ensembles, and producing concerts until shortly before his death at age 90 on August 1st, 2012, in Manhattan, where he was born. Townsend's career was effectively launched at age 17 when he won a nationwide student composition contest while attending Manhattan's High School of Music and Art. The prize was a nationally broadcast radio performance by the CBS Symphony Orchestra, conducted by Bernard Herrmann, the great film composer. After graduation, Townsend privately studied composition with Aaron Copland as a composition fellow at Tanglewood, Stephen Wall, Otto Luning, as a two-time composition fellow at Millbury Composers Conference, Tibor Shirley and Felix Grizzly. Can we now pull up the two pictures we have of young Douglas among other composers? In a group of composers, yes, we have two images actually with Aaron Copland. One of them is where Aaron Copland is standing at the chalkboard. Do we have that picture? If not, that's okay. These are 7 composers that were invited by Aaron Copland to Tanglewood in the summer of 1947. And Douglas, as you see on this picture, is third from the right, standing with Copland being at the piano. And these fellow composers were Sidney Cox, Russell Smith, Carlos Resco, Newt Newstead, Douglas Townsend, Ned Rorem, and Jan Novak, in case you're wondering. Okay, we are moving on. During Douglas's 75-year career, he composed well over 100 original works, symphonies, concertos, chamber works, including several for piano, 4 hands, as well as ballet music, film scores, and incidental music for theatrical productions. His vocal works include operas, operettas, and choral music, and he has written extensively for wind ensembles and symphonic bands. Townsend was the recipient of numerous commissions and grants from, among others, the National Endowment for the Arts, the Martha Bayer Rockefeller Fund for Music, the New York State Bicentennial Revolution Commission, and the New York State Council on the Arts. Additionally, he is credited with more than 70 editions of important 18th and 19th century European works, which he brought to light and edited or arranged for performance and publication. Now, next, I'd like to, kind of playing it by ear a little bit, I'd like to also mention that some of the distinguished performers of his works and editions have included the solos like Gary Graffman, Jamie Laredo, Carol Vincent, Per Brevik, Davis Schumann, Stanley Drucker, Anthony Newman, Ray Lebb, and Shirley Barrett. The choral groups, the Metropolitan Opera Madrigal Singers, the Young People's Chorus of the City of New York, and International Fellowship Chorus, and such premier concert bands as the President's own U.S. Marine Band. A variety of professional orchestras have performed Townsend works and editions, among many, but just giving an example, Cleveland Orchestra and Lincoln Center, mostly Mozart Festival Orchestra. Additionally, numerous university, college, and youth orchestra, wind ensembles, piano ensembles, and concert band have performed Townsend works and editions. Douglas Townsend had a combined of 20 years of experience teaching music history, composition, orchestration, and theory at Brooklyn and Lehman colleges and at Purchase College. His last position was as an adjunct professor of composition in the music department of the University of Bridgeport, Connecticut, where he had taught for 6 non-consecutive years. Students of his who went on to careers in composition were Russ Landau, 2008 Emmy, Justin Tierney, who in 2017 received a doctoral degree in music at Duke University, among many others. With his wife, Jean, he produced and curated the annual social networking concerts held in Manhattan at St. Peter's Church to promote the work of living composers and the musicians who perform their compositions. Can we now show more pictures of Douglas? And we also have his publications, etc. Now would be a good time to feature some of the pictures that we haven't yet. This is young Douglas. Beautiful. Great. And now we are going to play a video that we have, which is Douglas's arrangement of a Clementi Sonatina. What I find is very interesting about this is that it's an arrangement for piano and orchestra, and it gives young students a great opportunity at a young age to perform with orchestra. We have a 7-year-old student performing such arrangement. Take a listen. Fantastic. We hope that many music teachers be inspired to take this on and give it to the talented students to perform. And our next selection is the original composition of Douglas called Concertino for piano and four diverse instruments that was written in 1990. What we have here is the premiere of the string quartet version with piano, and that was performed on September 16 in 2012 at the Old Townsend Memorial Concert held at Dimena Center in New York. Take a look. Beautiful. And to close our presentation about Douglas Townsend, we have a quote from Jean Townsend, and it's a beautiful one. Take a listen. Especially today, it is vitally important that every child be exposed to and educated in music and the arts. This is where we learn about our own souls and emotions, and through empathy, about the souls and emotions of others. In performing music, we learn to communicate with others, to express and combine our talents with those of others, and to work together to achieve harmony and beauty. To secure the future of the human race, aren't these the critically important skills required of all members of all societies in the 21st century? Fantastic. Golden words. Thank you so much, Jean, for participating and presenting your husband's work and interesting facts and pictures and videos. We thank you very much. And hopefully you're watching, saying hello to you. Now we're going to take a quick music break and stay tuned when we present keyboardist Tapas Zimbabwe. Great, welcome back. Our next featured artist is Tapas Zimbabwe. He is a pianist, composer, and educator from the Boston area. Townsend completed his bachelor degree at Berklee College of Music and continued his studies, receiving his master's of music degree from NYU, which is New York University. Mr. Zimbabwe is a keyboardist in the Saturday Night Live house band and also pianist and assistant musical director for Trilogy, which is an opera company. If I may also add, Tafas has served on our piano faculty for a number of years, teaching at a local school downtown Manhattan, which housed, inner city type students. They were all on a scholarship from our organization. And Tafas really provided such dedication, knowledge, and brought such good energy into that program for many years. So I wanted to add that as a detail to his bio. We want to show, why don't we show his professional pictures first as we begin? Wonderful. Great, thank you. What I'd like to actually talk a little bit about Tufus's participation in different endeavors that supported music education. This one collaboration that he was part of is between Little Kids Rock and Berklee College of Music. And we have an article that has many, many pictures. Can we pull up the first picture that at the top of that article? Yes. Let it be right here because I'm going to name all the people in that picture first. So we have from left to right, we have, hold on a second, Associate Vice President for Education Outreach, Executive Director for Berkeley City Music, Curtis Warner at the left, Saturday Night Live band keyboardist, Tapas Zimbabwe, next to him, Executive Director, Little Kids Rock, David Wish. I'll tell you a little bit more about this organization. It has a great, great story. Director of MPOP New York City, Charlie Schwartz, is in the middle, toward the right, and President of Berklee College of Music, Roger Brown. This was an event that supported that collaboration of Little Kids Rock and Berklee College, MPOP New York. And we have many pictures in that article. Can we please show them? Wonderful, and you'll see Tuffus in many of them. And as you look at the pictures, I'd like to read a little history of Little Kids Rock, which is a nonprofit organization. And here's a little interesting fact about it. In 1996, an elementary school teacher, David Wish, who is the founder, grew frustrated with the lack of funding for music education at his school. Realizing that he would have to take it upon himself to make sure his kids got a chance to explore music, David began offering an after-school guitar class to interested students. The classes became widely popular, and as more kids sought to enroll, he decided to take the program national. In 2002, with initial support from musical luminaries like Carlos Santana, hello, Bonnie Raitt, and John Lee Hooker, Little Kids Rock was born. What began as an informal project led by a single school teacher and handful of volunteers has since evolved into a nationally recognized not-for-profit organization that has served tens of thousands of students across the country. Beautiful. And now maybe we could play video number one we have to spruce it up a little bit of Tapas, where he talks about his career path. It's the first video we have.
My name is Tapas Zimbabwe, and I'm a keyboardist and composer and arranger. I went through the Berkeley City Music programs and received the City Music full tuition scholarship to study at Berkeley full-time. I went on to study at NYU and just recently received the Saturday Night Live keyboard position. Saturday Night Live was a blessing, you know, for me. There's not too many jobs out there like that. I mean, it's just an opportunity that opened up and, you know, somehow I got it. I don't know. The musicians on the set are amazing. There's another keyboardist, Leon Pendarvis. He's the other director, so I'm learning a lot from him. And not only that, they have a horn section, and they're giving me opportunity to write and arrange for the band. So it's like I'm kind of getting paid to like study again, you know what I mean? So it's a dream opportunity. The director of the band, he teaches at NYU, and we didn't meet during my time there. And but however, I made, you know, good relationships with you know, my teachers there, my chair at the department. And so when the time came, I guess, that they were doing auditions for the keyboard spot, my name came up, and I actually knew a few people that knew a few people in the band, so they were good references for me. Try to not burn any bridges, I guess, you know what I mean? Because you never know who you're gonna need to ask for help or who may have influence later on down the line. To get work these days, you never know what you may be doing. You know, you could be teaching, you could be touring or gigs, freelancing, who knows, wedding gigs, movie scores. I'm very ambitious. I look up to like Quincy Jones as kind of like the pinnacle of success for a musician or artist. And so like he's done everything. He was like, you know, a great musician, played in big bands, wrote charts, collaborated with Michael and tons of other people, wrote for movies. So I just kind of look at him as an example. Just try to surround yourself with as much stuff in the music industry as possible, you know, that gets your brain thinking music, you know, whether it's writing, performing, teaching, you know, or even business. The City Music program had a huge part of my development. Without that, I would not have been able to work with the great teachers I worked with, and I don't know where I would have been right now. Musically, I definitely would not have been like at the level I'm at right now or working with the people I'm working with right now.
Beautiful. And I also wanted to share an article from publication called Jazz Blues News. This article is from 2018, but the title is Musician Tapas Zimbabwe Mines Charleston History to Aid Jenkins Institute. Here's a very important part about Jenkins Institute that I wanted to share with you. The Jenkins Institute for Children, founded by Reverend Daniel Joseph Jenkins in 1891 in downtown Charleston, sheltered African American children who soon learned to play music very well indeed. American jazz, in part, can be traced to the Jenkins Orphanage band of the early 20th century. The young players were so good, they performed local gigs and soon toured, raising money that helped fund the children's home. Can we find the picture of young children standing? Yes, this one. You see young musicians standing near the orphanage. As I continue reading, please take a look at that picture. Jenkins' reputation as a teacher and mentor traveled far, and during the early part of the jazz era, musicians who were not orphans came to the orphanage to learn their craft. Some, including Charleston residents Freddie Green and William Cat Anderson, went on to become important leaders in famous bands such as the Cord Basie Band and Duke Ellington Orchestra. And now is the key point of this article. Tapas Zimbabwe is a great grandson of Reverend Daniel Jenkins and is a keyboard player in the Saturday Night Live. Interesting part is that Tuffus learned about his great-grandfather's musical legacy when he was a child, but he did not appreciate the magnitude of Jenkins' contribution to jazz until he visited Charleston as a teenager. And a quote from Tuffus, "It didn't set in until I came to Charleston and saw how people were very proud of Jenkins and what he has done," Zimbabwe said. "My dad always told me about my great-grandfather, but it's when you experience it in person that you realize it." To carry on the family tradition, Zimbabwe edits and arranges music by Edmund Thornton Jenkins, who is the seventh son of Daniel Jenkins. One of the chair people at the Institute, Joanna Martin Carrington, said, "Zimbabwe's work will inspire children to become involved in music." Tuffus found a lot of Edmund Jenkins music that has never been played, and with his performance, it will bring the music back to the city where it all started. And I'd like to read Tuffus's quote before we play our second video. Tuffus's quote is this from his teaching, which is fantastic. "I saw the difference that learning music makes on developing children. In addition to learning musicianship, theory, and repertoire, the students' self-confidence as individuals grow as well. A parent had called me to thank me and said that the discipline and focus picked up from studying music in my class has translated and carried over to his son's other academic classes at school." Thank you so much, Tapas. And we're now going to play a second video that we have, which is from Berkeley College Annual Gala. Take a look.
Hey everybody, how y'all doing? Y'all can get louder than that. How y'all doing? Thank you. I know it's late, but I couldn't wait to call you on the phone. It's been a while since I've been home, and all of this was my own choice, since the man upstairs gave me this voice. No matter how hard it takes, no matter how long it takes, I gotta give up and live up. I just can't stand to give up. I gotta do what I gotta do. I gotta sing my song, sing the hatred in to that man above. Sing the tears into a smile. Sing until I feel that this is all worthwhile. Sing it high, I'll sing it low. Sing from deep within my soul. Sing it loud and sing it clear. Sing so everyone can hear. Could it be, Lord, you've chosen me because I'd be nothing if I couldn't sing my song. By the way, may I say thank you for the love you've shown all the years since I was born. Never thought that I was college bound and you expected me to settle down. But I gotta do what I gotta do, yeah. Before I give up, I gotta live up to a chance to do my thing. I've gotta do what I've gotta do. I've gotta sing my song, yeah. Sing the hatred into love. Sing a praise to that man above. Sing the prayers into I'm gonna sing until I feel that this is all worthwhile. I'll sing it high, I'll sing it low. I'll sing from deep within my soul. I'll sing it loud, I'll sing it clear, so that every one of you can hear. Could it be if I couldn't sing my song? Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Tapas, for participating and for sharing your story and for letting us use your links and share your charity work with many educational programs in the United States.